out of the 4 bikes that I own, I've decided that Gus is the one that I have to sell. Can't have 2 GS's, that doesn't seem sensible, and the other one is a bigger engine. So my beautiful, well-loved Gus G650 GS is going to be put up for sale. And today I'm taking it for its warrant of fitness because it's just expired. And it's no good. Don't expect any problems at all considering she's mint. See how we go. 31,000 Ks on the clock. Basically broken in according to the GS people that I talk to, who routinely have bikes over 100,000 Ks. And one guy I know has 200,000 Ks on his. And my other GS has got 105,000, 6,000 Ks on it. So 31,000 Ks is basically new. And it feels like it too, it goes like a dream. Okay, and off we go, VTNZ. Hopefully they do motorbike warrants. And yes, I haven't actually given Gus enough love lately, so although I'm going to sell Gus, I am going to do my final full license on Gus in the next week or so. Hit traffic, almost immediately hit traffic, which is great. I see your hand on it, don't you turn it. Can I go through? Thanks, bastard. Warrant, yep.
Only airports or credit card today.
That's fine. Good.
You have a mask?
I don't. Can I buy one from you?
I'll give you one.
I've got a helmet though. I'll keep the helmet on. Rather bring me the mask, please.
Do you mind wearing one?
Rather bring me the mask. Thank you. Went through the warrant just perfectly, which is great. So Gus is in good condition. And we can now go and get something to drink. Glad that got done. I honestly was just, I don't know, I just always expect there'll be something. You know, brake pads are 0.5 millimeter too thin. It's great that it's all good. Makes me happy. I can go put some well-earned fuel in Gus. Let's go, lady. Man. Might even get a burger from Burger King to celebrate. Yay! It's the motorbike, yep, $14, thereabouts. Thank you. It's a steak and pepper pot with steak and cheese. Yep. On the road again. I do love Gus. Such a well-behaved machine. Nicely balanced, not too heavy, not too big, not too small. Nice height. It sounds great, little thumper. I'll be sad to see him go. Homegrown biker gang is ready to go. Such fun. Want me to lead? Okay. And onto the highway we go. This is where they start the. I thought I'd show you where they start the license. Well, big day today. I'm going to write my CBTA-F full motorcycle license in Pukekohe. I booked two because I know what's going to happen is I'll fail the one for some technicality or silly thing that I didn't know, and then I'll have to go and do it again. That happened to me on my restricted, and I don't want there at this time of the year to be like 6 weeks gap between the two events. So I booked them both and I've told nobody about today, so I'm not expecting much to happen today. I'm expecting the instructor to wonder why I haven't done the silver, which I'll have to explain as COVID, and also to explain, well, just to see what's involved in the test and the things that I get wrong. On the off lucky chance that I don't fail, well, then I'll cancel the other one. What a pleasure. But I'm not expecting that. I am genuinely... Oh my word, do I have to have a fly? Okay. I'm genuinely expecting to do something wrong and be told what the right thing is, and that's okay. There's no shortage of practicing that is important on a motorcycle, and if you use that as an opportunity to learn, all the better. Fortunately, between this one and the next one, later in December, the silver course is being held, and the second one also has an hour of instruction. So that hour of instruction is exactly what I will need. Instructor to tell me what they're looking for, lines on the road, I don't know, speed management, hazards, all of those things, right? Quite a trip to Puke, so I'm leaving fairly early, 11:15. Should hopefully get to Puke by 12. Test is at 1:15, so I'll have some time in Puke to ride around and assess the traffic. I also have a couple of questions to ask the guy. One is, look, I don't think I need to ask this one. I might just, if he seems amenable to having questions asked, and that is not lane merging, but lane splitting. Do you have to indicate into a split lane when you approach it? Don't think so. Also, what about these little lanes that pop into your lane and they have like a very short double road? It's basically a feeder. Does that feeder require me to merge, or is it considered too small? Because I've seen some long ones, and the longer they go, the more you kind of realize this is actually now becoming a merge. So there's got to be a line somewhere. If he's not, I'm sure he'll answer the question. Just remember to ask it. I think those were the only two questions I had. Yeah. All right. See you there. Okay, so exciting times. It's the next day. I am at a loss for where my gloves are. There they are. So, as you can see, I'm riding my 1200 today, and the reason why is because I got my full license yesterday. Hooray! Technically, it's just the assessment, and I still have to do the paperwork with the government. But in spirit, nothing can stop me from getting it. So I'm going to celebrate by riding it illegally one last time, I suppose. And we're off just quickly before it gets too rainy. We're going to go to Clevedon and get my coffee, the usual Clevedon run, as you do. Alright, and off we go. So I'll use a little bit of today to talk about my full, and this is really just for my own memories. No one else has to listen, watch or hear. But it was a fun day. Met a nice guy. Oh, I do like this bike. And there's a little bit of rain spitting already. Oh well, it is what it is. So, what happened? Well, so I had booked my course in Pukekohe through a place called Passmasters. It's where I got my restricted from. I like Pukekohe. You can get into the country real quick. You don't sit in traffic for long. Where in Botany and more urban areas you have a little bit more of a problem actually getting going. So you can sit and stop-start traffic, which we all know is not the best, especially when you're on a test. So I met the guy, very nice guy, Dutch origin, so we had something in common given that I'm South African. And we had a good long chat. I had one or two questions about the road code for him, which he answered, and that was quite good. I'll tell you about the end when the assessment came through, but basically we hopped on the bikes and we went for a quick little ride to Pukekohe, got out of Pukekohe really quick, and headed out onto some twisties, some nice twisties. I'd been on one, but there was another one which ended up in Runciman, which is a lovely road, and I had to basically show my positioning on the road, make sure I was following the speed limit, making sure that I was indicating and doing all my signals, and that I was able to operate the bike at pace. And only half an hour, although we did quite a bit of distance in half an hour. I think we did a lot of distance, but yeah, it was full on. Because obviously you're nervous, but he was a very relaxing guy, very nice, pleasant, try to make me feel at ease, and half the length of a restricted. So none of the do a U-turn or stuff like that who wants to do. Just need to watch my speed. This bike can creep up very quickly on you, and of course the roads will be greasy because it hasn't rained in a while, and it's spitting. What am I in? Third. I forgot this bike tells me what gear it's in. So the reason I'm riding this bike is because yesterday I spent the whole day on that bike, and it's a back-to-back comparison for me the next day between the two GSs, between the 650 and the 1200, and yeah, you can go a lot faster on this bike before you notice it, that's for sure. I quite like that. So once we had done a whole bunch of twisties, no rain, not like my restricted, so the weather was good. We headed back. He directed me all the way back to the place, and as we arrived, good on him, he said, okay, just put you out of your misery. That was an easy pass. I like to tell people that right away, so don't keep waiting. So that was good. So immediately I could relax, and I was like, oh, thank goodness I passed. And to be honest, I wasn't sure that I would, because I hadn't done any rider training with him. For my restricted, I did an hour with the instructor before we did the assessment, and I was supposed to do my silver the whole day ride, and I hadn't done that because of COVID. It had been rebooked so many times that it ended up putting my test ahead of the silver course, which is a full day course, right? So I wasn't expecting much. I had actually booked a backup test because it's crazy times, and to get a test it's like months away. So I booked a backup test later the next week. So I went in expecting to fail, and then basically to learn how to pass. And instead I came back passing with an easy pass. So that was really comforting and encouraging, that I know what I'm doing, but I'm still learning, of course. What's this guy doing? Thanks for the indication, eh? Wasn't even a BMW. Alright. So the feedback he had for me was quite interesting. So because I knew that the course or the assessment was largely about high-speed positioning around corners to make sure that you're doing it safely, I kind of wanted to make sure I'd gone through and revised that just to make 100% sure. I've always been told it's apex to apex, not quite apex to apex, because you don't want to lean your head over the line. So on a left turn, you know, you're going to start right, and then you're going to drift to the left as you take the corner, and your wheels will probably end up in the middle of the road and your body off to the left, so that you've got options if something is around the blind corner. And the right turn, because we are left-handed country, the right turn is a little different. Again, you drift to the left before the corner, and then instead of drifting too far to the right, you drift a little bit, but pretty much stay in the center so that you don't cross over the line. They teach you that this yellow line here is a wall, and if your head's going to scrape that wall, you fail. Fair enough. But I went to go and check all of that, and then while I'm reading the road code, it's like it seems to have changed, and now their advice is to stay on the left. So here, now under normal, and that's under normal driving, right? So under normal circumstances, when I ride on the right hand side, so like here, behind the right tire, so that I present the biggest target and obstacle to the person in front of me who's looking in their rear view mirror. Plus, I'm providing the biggest obstacle for the person driving behind me, that I'm right in front of their, you know, sight of vision. I'm not off to the left where they might not see if they glance in quickly. That's how I've always done it. And the book implied that even through the twisties and on the straights, you should stay as far left as possible. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But that's what it said. So I'm like, okay, I'll follow that rule. So on my test, I did that. I was at this position, as you see me now, on the left-hand wheel. And I was very lucky the guy didn't mark me down. He did mark me down. It was the only thing that he flagged me for on the test result, but it wasn't significant enough to be a failure. In fact, he started off by saying, you really have to try to fail. If you have to try hard to fail, which I thought was quite an interesting start. Yeah, so I was on this side the whole time, and then I just tackled the corners in the, as you would. And he commented about that and said he wondered why, and I explained to him why, and he's like, no, it doesn't sound right, because what I normally do does sound right. So I said to him, I will go and dig up that piece of the road code that I read, and I will flick it to him, and maybe I've misinterpreted reading it, which could be, and let him see what he thinks. But he wanted me to do what I normally do, which is right behind the right hand wheel. So I will continue to do that now that I've heard it from the expert, even if the road code might imply something different. But maybe I've got it wrong, and maybe when I go and read, I'll be embarrassed and go, oh, okay, sorry. Anyway, you see, I'm doing 70. I would normally be doing 60, 50 here, but because the bike is so capable and so easy and so high, it's very easy to put yourself up 20 k's higher than you should be. In fact, consistently I'm 20 k's higher than I feel like I am on the G650 GS. What a lovely bike though, man. The heated grip doesn't work on the right hand side. I have to fix that snag. Okay, what else? So that was the one comment. The other thing is I didn't obey the speed limit. I was pretty spot on the whole time, but there was one area where I missed the fact that the speed went up. It went from 80 to 100, but it doesn't say 100. In New Zealand they don't tell you that it's 100, they just tell you that it's an open road. So instead of having a number, oftentimes it'll just be a circle with a black line going through it, which means the previous speed limit was cancelled, and therefore the open road limit applies, which is 100. Okay. Wow, these brakes are good, must concentrate. Oh yes, I like it. So I missed that, but it happened to be right near where my kids' school used to be when they were really little, and I was busy telling him about it because we had our intercoms connected and it was bi-directional chat, which was also nice. And he was like, oh, being nostalgic about your kids having a nice cruisy slow ride. So I said, oh yeah, I'll go up to full speed now. And then, to be honest, I think I may have missed it once again, but I just hoped that I got it right, and I saw that the turn was at 55. I thought I was either in a 60 or an 80, and they gave you a warning, sort of speed advisory at 55, and I just thought to myself, there's no ways they're going to give you a speed advisory of 55 on a 60. It's going to be at 80, right? So I just went up to 80 as quick as I could and hoped that I wasn't in a 60, because that would have failed me instantly. And the up that panned out, because the next time I saw it, it was a 75 advisory, so I was like, sure, okay, it may even have been 100. But you know, you don't go 100 whenever it says it's open, or 100, because you drive to the conditions. So if you feel more comfortable riding at 80, you ride at 80. But there were sections of 100 near Pukekohe, which are quite quick to find, and I hadn't found them before, and I did 100 and it was fine. So that was the other thing. And then one last thing is I forgot to signal, indicate, and I'm pretty sure I did, but I noticed that as I pulled out, I went to go and cancel and it wasn't on, and I thought, oh, that's going to be a failure. And he asked about it. He said, oh, you know, you missed one or two indications, which there wasn't a pattern. You weren't forgetful. So I thought maybe there's something wrong with your indicator. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just put heated grips in the old bike. Maybe I've messed something up. I'll double check. But I did notice that when I went to go and cancel on one occasion, it wasn't on. And then on the way home, I did it several times, I noticed. And I'm like, what the hell? So either there's a problem with my indicator, or I'm acting forgetful all of a sudden. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I don't think there's a problem with the indicator, because every time I then go and actually check to try, it's never failed, not once. But otherwise, that was cool. That was basically the guts of it. And by the time we were finished, we had a good chat. He's got a lovely, I said to him, I'm going to, you know, when I get back, if I've passed, I've told my son I'm going to buy a Hayabusa. And he laughed. He said, I've got a Hayabusa. I'm like, oh, no, you're kidding. So he told me all about his Hayabusa 2013, and also his current bike, which was a FXR something. Yeah, YXR, FXR. It's definitely a Yamaha. Also a 1300, 150 horsepower. Beautiful looking thing, but it really looks like a big tourer, not a race bike. So we spoke about his bikes. I told him about all of my bikes. I told him about this one, and that I'd parked it in the garage and I couldn't ride it because I was waiting to pass. But I told him this after, so it's not like it influenced him. He's a professional, nothing like it would influence him. Yeah, so I told him today I'm going to go and take it out for a spin, even though I don't have the piece of paper other than the certificate. That's just how it is. So nice fellas, all in the yellow. So I'm enjoying the tractor today. It's you certainly don't have to ring it like you do the G650, and you don't have to ring the G650, but here I'm like lightly touching the throttle and I'm still picking up speed, and I should probably be one thing done. He did make one interesting comment. He said if you were under revving some of the times, and I thought I was over revving, because it's a single pot, right, 650, so you tend to over rev it. And he said no, I was under revving it from time to time, and his advice was break up your speedo into your RPM range into 3 quadrants. So in this case I go up to 750, so call it 7.5. So the first third you should not be in, unless you're ticking away and you're really slow or whatever. The second quadrant you should, the top third you should only be in when you're passing or you're accelerating and you're trying to get away. And you should live in the middle third, where you've got enough teeth to feel that you can do this, whenever you want to. So if you think about it, if you live in the middle of the third, then if you want to be in the middle of the third, it's going to be halfway through. So that means that on my bike it should be just under 4 on this one, and that's pretty much where I do stay. I stayed around about 4, so I think that's okay. On the GS it will be about the same, about 4, but I was sort of in the 3 to 3.5 range, which is why I think he pointed it out. I don't know how the hell he noticed. He must have very good ear sight. So that was quite impressive. And then I just need to take those figures and have a look at what it means for the Vulcan and for the Ninja. But that was it. So jubilation, I got my license. I can now go and buy whatever bike I want. It doesn't have to be Lambs. I've kind of shot the gun on that one already, but I've got, out of the 4 bikes, now I can sell the G650. It's Lambs for sure. The other 2 I've modified to be non-Lambs anymore. But I'm thinking of selling a couple and then buying another bike, a reward for getting my full which means there's exciting times ahead. I have to think about what I want to get, and how much I want to spend, and whether I want to trade in 1, 2 or 3 to get it. Well, I have to trade in 2 minimum, or sell 2, because I can't have 4 bikes. The wife has put her foot down, so I can only have 3, and frankly 4 is too much for me at the moment. I think in the future I might build up when I've got a bike that I really don't want to sell, but I don't need to ride it every week. Then I will start to like have a private old collection, New Zealand collection. So anyway, so that's cool. So that's coming up. I've got lots to think about. But for now, the new one in the stable is this one, and I can now start to actually, even though it's old, 2005, 16 years old, I can start to have a little bit of fun with it, and start to explore its capabilities, at least on the road and on dirt. I'm not going to be doing off-road. I can't see myself doing off-road. I really can't. Oh, that's interesting. There's a light on. What does that mean? Could that be fuel? I think that's fuel. I'll have to check. It's the first time I've seen a light on any bike. Yep, it's flashing fuel. Phew, okay, so it's just fuel. So it's now telling me I've got 75 k's to go. So that's cool. It's got an automatic, this is your distance to go. I've got 75 k's. I wonder how many k's I've done, because I haven't ridden it like a pig. I've ridden it conservatively, and I hadn't thought I had done that much mileage. So this thing could slug down the fuel a bit. When I get to, I'll fill up in Clevedon after my cup of coffee, or maybe I'll fill up. I'll fill up at BP on the way home. I am quite keen to see what mileage I've got, and with 74 k's to go, what that gives me in a full tank. I've never seen that before. So I'm guessing that it's probably going to be nearly double any of my other bikes. It's a 1200, the other's a 650, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's nearly double. And I'm not sure how many litres the tank is. I need to actually look at that as well. This is how new the bike is for me. I will have to go and figure out how big my tank is. Ooh, they're painting. There we go. I do love the GS though, and I think I must always consider having this type of bike. If not a GS, then a big tourer. Just a big comfortable bike that you can just hit the road with and disappear into the sunset with. You can do that with any bike, we know this. But this one is so classically, I'm going on an adventure that I'd love to keep it, or variants of it. And then the other one is either the Sport or the Cruise. Wow, it is crazy. I did that without looking at the speedo. I thought I was doing 80, I was doing 100. What a capable bike. And I don't mean that it's impressive that it can get to 100. I mean, this bike can do 200. I know that. I've seen videos of it doing 200. It's not a sport bike. It's not designed to go super fast. What I mean though is it's big and capable and comfortable and secure, that your 100 feels like 80. One other thing I want to comment on is my gear. I'm wearing my Motor Dry adventure suit. I wore it yesterday for the ride as well. The reason I took it is it fits the bike, style of the bike. There was potential for rain, and I didn't want to wear my jeans, and I didn't want to wear anything else hot and heavy. I love my jeans. I primarily ride in them. They Kevlar, PKev Resurgence jeans. They are awesome. But I wore this gear, and because I got the waterproof liners inside. It's a full three layer system. Really inexpensive as well. Built in Australia for Australian conditions. Of course, we're in New Zealand, so completely different. But I do get hot, so I thought, I threw the rain gear in the top box, and I just went But I unrolled everything. As you can see, I've got all of the gauze areas exposed. I've rolled down the pockets in the front, on my legs, my back is fully rolled down, just to see what the temperature would do, because it was pretty hot yesterday for New Zealand, which means it was in the 20s. But it's muggy and sweaty. It's strange weather, and wow, the air just flew through this jacket. It kept me nice, warm and snug when I was down in Ropayu in freezing cold weather, and with the insides taken out and with all the gauze exposed, the mesh, not gauze, mesh areas exposed, the air was like flowing through me, almost as good as like a mesh sports jacket. Like my I've got a Reddit sports jacket, which basically is gauze mesh, and the air flows right through you, almost the same. So in terms of versatility, I think that the suit has proven itself. It works in cold, freezing conditions, it works in the wet, it works in the dry and hot and humid. And now today it's not hot. It's probably 20, 21, so it's cool. I've got all the mesh still open, and I'm comfortable as. I've got air flowing through me, super comfortable. I'm really happy with this jacket, and you know, I was contemplating buying a Revit, like a Sand 3 or a Sand 4, or possibly even like the Defender or whatever they're called. You know, those are $2,000 suits, and the Sand 4 I think was like 600 plus 800, so it was like $1,400 or $1,300. It's flipping expensive. This set was 600, half the price, and frankly feels like it has all of the same features. The quality of the zips, the quality of the construction feels excellent. It's not the same as Revit. Okay, so the size of the zips you can see, they are YKK and all of that, but it's just not quite the same. But and that, I guess, will be the deciding factor on whether this was a good deal. But it's not like other ones I've seen that are, you know, you have to babysit the straps and the Velcro, and things start to pull off and the loops and the zips break. And I've not had a problem with this suit. It's been high quality. Very, very happy with it. So if anybody's looking for an adventure suit like this and doesn't want to spend the type of money that the BMW Motorrad or the Revit brand offer for these types of suits, consider Motor Dry Australian. And I have not been told to say that. I'm not being paid to say that, because I have 15 subscribers, 11 of which are family members, so no one's watching this. It's just for my own memories. But yeah, if anybody who does watch this in the future, and that's my quick review after wearing it for probably 8 months. It's holding up really well. So don't change gears when turning like that, Stuart. And we are home. Yay!